Seriously? From everything, like literally everything, and it comes from random things. Like sometimes I'll be in a restaurant or a bar and I hear a conversation and I'll literally like write it down. I mean, it usually evolves and changes into something else, but it can be in the story. Or if I meet someone who tells me a story, or if I see interaction between people, or if I see a show that I'm like, oh, I love that idea. So I take inspiration from literally everywhere. Hardin's probably the one that I'm the most like connected to, just because he's the one that's the most like me, and he's the one that like deals with things in a different, like Tessa's very precise and very like, she thinks things through and she's not impulsive, and so I feel like she kind of takes care of herself. So with Hardin, I feel like I have to like kind of protect him and stuff. So I would choose Hardin, but it would be between Hardin and Tessa are pretty much the same, but if I have to choose, it would be Hardin. Damon Salvatore is one of my favorite of all time. I love him, and Hardin is inspired by him too. Damon, Chuck Bass is like, of course. Mr. Big, I guess he's not necessarily like, well, he's kind of a bad boy, yeah. I usually like the bad boy in everything that I watch. I usually never root for like the sweet, innocent boy. I would like to think that it's like Damon and Elena without the vampires and things like that, but just the like the magnetic thing where they have to be together no matter what obstacle comes. And sometimes as a viewer, I would be like, are they gonna end up together? Because I read the books, but they're so different, so that doesn't matter. But there were times where I was afraid they weren't gonna end up together, and they both made so many mistakes that I was just like, how is this gonna be fixed? And I feel like that with Hardin and Tessa, where it's so up and down and around, but at the end, they're just like, they have to be together. The only reason that I didn't want to do a TV show with After was because there's so many writers involved and the showrunner and all these things that it usually, even if it's for the best, it goes so far from the story, like Pretty Little Liars or Vampire Diaries, for example, where I loved them both, but they're so different. So if I'm gonna be involved, I feel like it's easier for a film because there's less room for like total changes. The lake scene, starting from the coffee, did you see it? Okay, I'm like, spoiler. Starting from like the coffee shop to all the way to the end of the lake scene, because it's the first time that they're really like letting their guard down. And it's the first time that Tessa kind of stops overthinking everything for a minute, and the first time that Hardin stops being so like solid and not emotional. The first time I saw it, because I was so involved in every day of filming and then in the editing room, it was more of like technical things the first time, but then when it was locked and I got to watch it again, then I was just kind of blown away and so proud of what we all made together.